Hello, welcome back. And the other day I was looking on Twitter, and I was actually looking for people who do what I do, who resell items, and I put in the keyword thrift or hashtag thrift, and I was kind of surprised at how many people are actually intimidated by thrifting. So I thought, well, what I'll do is I will do a how-to on how to thrift. Now, I'm going to keep it short, and I just started it. There's a lot more to this, but I wanted to start out with the big basics and what I think, because I've been thrifting for a long time. I don't even buy new clothes anymore. Very rarely. I mean new, like brand new from the department store with tags on it, full retail price, or even on sale in the retails. So a lot of it just comes naturally to me, but I picked a couple things out to get you started so that hopefully it's not overwhelming. So my first tip is actually a two-parter, and the first part is have a plan. So when you go into the store, kind of know in your head in general what it is you're looking for. If you're looking for clothing, or maybe a specific kind of clothing like a jacket or shirt or pants, or maybe something for your kids, or do you need something for housewares? Are you looking for furniture? Do you need things for your kitchen, decor, toys, books? There's all kinds of stuff. You never know what you're going to find in a thrift store, which leads me to part 2 of the first one, and that is also go in with an open mind. So you're not going to go in most of the time and find exactly what you want. So for example, one of the things that I'm always looking for when I go in is vacuum cleaners, specifically Sharks, because that's the one that I use for my business. But I always look for vacuum cleaners because I'm so hard on them. I break them, that I'm dragging them in and out of the house, in the car, in the vehicle, up and down stairs, and all over the place. So I damage them kind of frequently, and I look for the Sharks specifically because I like them, but second of all, and so I have one on hand in case one breaks. But also, even if it's not completely perfect when I buy it, because I did buy one time that didn't have the trash, or the dustbin or the dust tank on it, I bought it anyway because the motor worked and all the other parts that were there still worked, and it was the same type of one that I already have, so I could Frankenstein them together. So that's an example for me that I always look for those. I don't always find them, but when I do, I try to pick it up. But you can have a plan when you go in, like maybe you need stuff for work. You need jackets, or you need like suit jackets, or you need your kids need play clothes, or they need something for school, or you're looking for a golf club or a tennis racket. Maybe your kids have joined the tennis club and they need a tennis racket. Just go in with an open mind. If you go in and you say specifically, I want this type of tennis racket, you're probably not going to find it. But if you go in and you start looking around, you might find something that's just as adequate. So keep an open mind when you go in. And the other thing that I do, if I'm going shopping for things for my house, specifically for my house, like maybe I need a soup pot or something like that, I just kind of look and see what they got. I don't always have something so specific in my mind that it has to be this exact soup pot. And maybe I'll find something else that I hadn't thought about. Maybe I found a roaster that I liked, or a bean pot, or the cookie jar. You never know what you're going to find, so you kind of have to weigh it out. Have a plan, but also be flexible. The second thing that I do is I always set a budget. So you might find something that's worth a little bit more, that's still a great deal, but typically when I go in, I'm looking for general things. So say I'm going shopping for clothing, and I say, okay, I'm only going to spend $20, so it may mean that I can get 10 outfits because it's dollar day, or it may only mean that I can get 3 pieces. It just depends on the store. But if I say, look, I'm not spending more than $20, like, because sometimes I go in and I'm like, I like this, 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 and it's easy to get carried away if your store has a lot of stuff in it, or maybe there's a really great sale going on and you lose track of it, you know, how much you're spending. But I try to keep a budget, because it's an easy place to get lost in what you're doing and overspend, even though you may be getting great prices. So I say, this is how much money I'm willing to spend, and I try to keep track of that. Okay. Also, you want to look in different parts of the store. So I think this is, with clothing, might be easier for ladies than for guys, because it's a lot easier, I think, for a woman to transition men's clothes into women's clothes than it is for basically men to go wear women's clothes. I'm just going to say basically, because I know there are lifestyles out there, but I'm just talking in general. But don't be afraid to look in different parts of the stores. And the other thing is, I have found clothing that was in the wrong part of the store. So for instance, a lady's button-down blouse may be actually in with the men's button-down tops, you know, and vice versa. Not that you would go over there hunting, but sometimes accidents happen. And the other thing is, maybe there's nothing in the clothing department, but you could use, I mean, in the, say, dresses, but you could use a good pair of jeans, you know, maybe you need to go there. So go in, take your time. You have to kind of flip to see what you want, and it all depends on how your store is arranged. So some stores arrange their things very traditionally, where it's ladies' tops, ladies' bottoms, shoes, or, you know, ladies' shoes, men's tops, men's bottoms, men's shoes, girls' clothes, boys' clothes, and they arrange it by size. So you got small, medium, large, etc., etc., etc. And then other stores arrange their things by color. So like Goodwill is notoriously known for arranging things by color. So you'll look down the aisle and you'll see, you know, a whole bunch of stuff that's red, and then white, and then yellow and green, and so on, so like that, and all the different sizes are mixed together. So just, you know, you may have to flip through a lot of hangers to find that piece. And it's not like, you know, because each piece is going to be individual in the thrift store. It's not like when you go into a department store where say it's this shirt that they're selling and they're all together and they have this many smalls, this many mediums, this many large, this many extra large, this many 2X's, you know, all in a row, and you can just kind of separate it and say, okay, here's my size. It's not like that. They, you know, it's all mixed together in these stores that are color coded. So, you know, just know that you're going to have to hunt and peck, and that you can't just look and say, oh, I like that, and grab that specific one out. Let's see. When you find things that you like, you want to make sure that you check them very, very thoroughly. So 99.9%, I'm pulling that out of the sky, but the vast majority of the things that you're going to find in thrift stores are used. Even if they have tags on them, more than likely they were sitting in somebody's closet with that tag and they just never wore it. Okay? On occasion, a store may donate their inventory, but for the most part, these things have been in somebody's house. So you want to make sure that you check for wear and tear. So things like clothing, check under the arms, just look for holes and stains. Check to make sure all the buttons are there. Check the front to make sure, you know, looking for stains. Check the hem to make sure that there's no tear in the hem. On pants, you want to check in the crotch of the pants, looking for tears and stains. I know stains in the crotch is disgusting, but you know, it happens, right? So you want to check that. Check the hems, especially on jeans. A lot of jeans, the hems for some reason get frayed, and that might be cool. Maybe you like that. I mean, I've sold jeans that were pretty beat up, and you know, that's what somebody was looking for. But it is an area, if you're looking for something that looks more new, check where the bottom of the hem on the legs of the pants and jeans go. For shoes, check the soles to check for the wear. Not just how badly they're worn or not badly, but also how they're worn. A lot of people don't walk flat on their feet. They might walk like this or like this or like this. So you want to check the wear on that, because that is going to affect how that's going to fit you. With hard goods, especially things like glass, you want to look for chips and cracks, and figurines to see if things have been glued back together. So here's a trick, especially with glassware, and it may not make such a difference on a vase, but if you're buying, say, a glass that you want to drink out of, close your eyes and run your finger around the lip of the glass, and you'll be able to feel if there's little chips in there that you may not actually see. They call them flea bites, and you know that's important, because if there's a little crack or something and you go to drink out of it, it would be better to feel it with your finger than your mouth. Okay, so as an example, but you know, check the handles on pots and pans and appliances. And that's another thing, anything that's electrical, see if you can check it. Some stores will let you plug it in and see if it works, and other stores will have on it tested. I'm a little skeptical, and I've gotten kind of picky in my old age. There's something blowing, sorry. But yeah, the electrical, I don't trust so much the tested, because I've bought, say, like an older TV that was tested and got home and the picture's all red. You know, there's like no green, no blue, no nothing. It's just red. So that's something to be aware of. Another thing is, in like where they sell linens and blankets and towels and things like that, my Goodwill, I don't buy this type of stuff from them anymore, because what they do is they take, say, well, here's what happened to me. I had an Afghan. It was like a throw, you know, it wasn't a big one, but they had it wrapped in cellophane, and it was a hand crocheted throw. And so, you know, they're very clear, if you open that up or you change the price, or if it looks like you've messed around with it, they're not going to let you buy it. So I didn't have the opportunity to see other than what was, you know, coming out. It wasn't covered by this cellophane, okay, and it was kind of wrapped up in a bundle about this big. And when I got it home, I kid you not, there were 2 giant holes, and I mean giant holes, and I don't know what happened to this thing, if a dog chewed it. I kind of think maybe it got on, I kind of thought it got burned, to be honest with you, because the yarn was kind of rough in those areas, but it was coming apart. And I, you know, around here, and this is another thing, around here, they don't allow us to return things to thrift stores. Now I know some of the other people that I watch and learn from as far as the thrifting goes, they do allow returns, but in my area they don't allow returns. So I'm stuck with this blanket that had giant holes in it. Live and learn. So I won't shop there. Which, by the way, here's another thing, I didn't take a total loss on that. What I did was I unraveled it. I unraveled the whole thing and rolled it into balls, and I'm using that yarn to make something else. Now that's because I can. I know other people might see like a wooden box or something, and they'll bring it home and they'll repurpose it, or they'll paint it and redecorate it. And you can do a lot with these things that you buy in stores. There's videos all over YouTube with people who go and they'll buy something, clothing, at the thrift store, and then they show the after, where they've brought it home and they've altered it somehow and made it their own. I saw a video one time, this lady bought this beat up old Louis Vuitton bag of some sort, and she turned it into a bikini. So, you know, there's, how creative are you? You know, maybe you can turn it into something else. So that's something to keep in mind, is there's a lot of versatility there. But yeah, you want to make sure that you check things very thoroughly. And the last thing is, find out about sales. Some stores have really good sales, some have none. They never have sales. It's all going to vary from store to store, and even from area to area. So I know like some Goodwills have dollar days or stuff a bag days. They don't do that in my area. They have, I think they color code the sales, which is pretty much what everybody does around here. They color code the sales. So on, say, Wednesday, everything that has a blue tag is 50% off. There may be a certain rack. A lot of stores now are kind of dividing things up, so they might have their boutique rack, but maybe they also have a clearance rack. There's a store that I like to go in that everything on that particular rack is $1. It's their clearance rack. And find out what their senior senior and military policy is. So obviously the military, if you're in a branch of the service, they're going to give you a discount, but seniors could vary from store to store. So some are as high as 65 I've seen, and some are as low as 55. So you want to find out what their senior policy is and if there's a special day for that. And do they let you stack one savings on top of another? So let's just say it's 20% off for seniors, but 50% off for all those blue tags that we were talking about. Will they let you do both, or is it one or the other? I don't know. I have one store that's pretty cool about that. Like, they'll ring up the whole thing, and then they'll take that 20% off at the very end. So that's another thing to learn about. Oh, I hope that wasn't too much. I hope it was enough to get you started. And I hope you found this helpful. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe. I'm trying to get more videos out, and if you've noticed, my channel's kind of changing a little bit. Give me a thumbs up if you found this was helpful. Questions, comments, I love them. I try to get back to every single person, so don't be afraid to put those down below. I'm dying to hear what you have to say. Thank you so much, and you have a great day.